Welcome back to Strikerless episode 2, where we have the challenge of winning a major trophy with Arsenal without using a traditional striker. Gonna be a tough one, but with 3 seasons to do it. Let's crack on. First we have the transfer window, and with £95 million to spend, had a look through the squads and I could see it's really just about building the squad depth. It's quite thin, this squad, just over 20 players. And one of the main areas I feel needs to be strengthened is here, attacking midfield. We need someone who's going to challenge Kai Havertz for that spot. Martin Odegaard is going to be playing in central midfield more often than not. And I feel the best player for this, Florian Wirtz, 20-year-old young wonder kid from Bayer Leverkusen. He's just going to grow with us if he accepts this contract offer for £100 million, 50 million of it up front. He thankfully accepts a regular starter role and £145,000 a week. Yeah, there's bonuses on top, but par for the course. He does accept this contract offer, and we have ourselves our first signing. Actually, I say that, it's our only signing of the summer, and he's going to slot in very nicely into that attacking midfield role. Was thinking of a shadow striker role, but I figured just to start we need a sort of playmaker going forward, just to allow Saka and Martinelli to cut inside. Still trying to decide on the roles for central midfielder. I think this is something, there's still going to be a lot of tweaks that are going to be made in this, so we will see how things go. We'll see how the first few games shake out before I make any more changes. Defence, no real changes there to start with. Look at the state of those first 3 league games. We got our work cut out for us, lads, to start the season well. This is going to be the team for the start of the season at least. Raya in goal, back four of Timber, Gabriel, Saliba and White, Partey, Rice and Odegaard in the midfield, Martinelli and Saka on the wings, with our new signing Wirtz in the attacking midfield. It just feels so weird that we're not going to be playing with a striker. It's the first time I've ever done this, but it's going to be a good challenge. And no bigger challenge apart from the Manchester City game coming up next than Aston Villa to start. Although, fortunately, a corner right at the start of the game, 3 minutes gone, Gabriel gets our first goal of the season from a set piece, and it just highlights just how important these set pieces are going to be. It's not just about getting players in the box for chances, it's about getting players to score from these set pieces, get the ball in their head, especially the tallest players, and hopefully they bag more goals. That will help us in our cause for a major trophy. Declan Rice bags the second goal just after I've finished fiddling with the camera settings, so apologies for that. But a lovely through ball here from Odegaard. He's going to be so important in that central midfield role. Look at that, splits the defence in 2. Rice runs onto it, slots it into the back of the net nice and calmly. Martinelli showing a lovely turn of pace here, and also the skill to just carry that ball around the defence, shooting it in, placing it into the back of the net. I'll tell you what, he's going to be a quality player for us this season. Martinelli and Saka are going to be so important, getting into the box more often than not. Timber with the ball down the left-hand side here, trying to work an opening early into the second half. Rice has the initial shot off the woodwork, and Odegaard in the right place at the right time. He opens his account for the season, a 4-0 win to start the season. Lovely stuff, lads. That's exactly what we wanted. What we didn't want was the injuries start piling up. Saka out for 3 to 5 weeks, along with the likes of Tierney, Lewis Skelly as well. Lewis Skelly's just come up from the youth squad. He's just there as another squad option for us. But they are all out for the visit to Manchester City. That's graphic with the yellow on whites does not work. I didn't even see who was actually playing. Good thing I know my own team. And unfortunately, I know Erling Haaland is going to be an absolute nightmare this season. He's just going to be bagging so many goals. That's his first of the game against us. Timber nicks the ball off of someone's feet there. I didn't even see who it was. Martinelli, first time after the pass, equalises for us, brings us back into the game. Very pleasing to see that Martinelli, just again, just a quality player, as if we didn't know that, but look at this for a first time finish. Feels like that was at the outside of his boot, absolute quality. Unfortunately from there, Manchester City just took over, and here is that man again. Haaland's, good grief. There's just no stopping him. Not even VAR is going to stop him. And unfortunately, it does become 2-1 City, and they just wrap it up from there with a third goal. Calmly passing the ball around, just like we're going to be doing in a lot of games, I imagine. Only Man City just appear to be that level above right now. certainly at the start of this season. Look at that, bring the ball back into defence and then just carving right through us. Haaland on the ball there. We do get a tackle in, doesn't work. Ball over, and who was that who got the shot? It was Gavardio. God, a centre back or left back actually scoring that. Oh, we need that quality throughout the whole team if we're going to match Manchester City and Liverpool this season, I think. And this is part of the reason why we couldn't actually get any more players in. We were hoping to get Fikayo Tomori in as another centre-back, but unfortunately it appears that we didn't have enough transfer budget to be able to complete the deal, even though I'd agreed about a £45 million deal originally. Even though I went to the board and asked them to put the transfer through, they were like, nah, sorry, we don't agree with this transfer fee. So I just had to reluctantly accept that we were going to get nobody else in because we had no funds left. As far as injuries go, another one, this time David Raya, our starter goalkeeper, and I felt terrible with this one. He's going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks, so we're going to see Neto in between the sticks for the first time, which was for this game away at Fulham. There we go. Neto, the main change, as well as Odegaard moving across to the other side of midfield and Rice dropping into the base of the midfield. But one thing that hasn't changed, Bukayo Saka can score a great goal. Slotting it, placing it, shooting it very, very hard into the back of the net, however you want to call it. Beautiful ball over the top by Rice, and Saka with a first time finish, not too dissimilar to Martinelli. Another corner, and almost another goal there, but this time Martinelli, another little curler into the back of the net. He is absolutely crucial to this attack right now. Him and Saka, they're probably going to get most of the goals, I feel. Florian Wirtz hasn't quite got off the mark yet, but he's still settling in, don't worry. His best is yet to come. He will be absolutely fine. 2-0 win. Neto keeps a clean sheet. Very happy with that. What I wasn't happy with was our start to the Champions League campaign. Normally, so far this season, we've been scoring the early goals, but in this game, not quite. Unfortunately, it was Galatasaray scoring early this time. 2 minutes on the clock and we were up against it away in Turkey. A hostile crowd. We needed to step up and actually make ourselves known. And unfortunately, that wasn't quite how it was going. We got to half-time, had to make a few changes, especially to the formation. 2 attacking midfielders and 2 defensive-minded players, just to try and get ourselves some more chances, because absolutely nothing happened for the rest of that first half. And as soon as the second half started, rather 20 minutes into the second half, guess what happened? Galatasaray get the first opportunity, and it's that man, Victor Osimhen, who gets his goal against us. And just like Haaland, VAR isn't stopping him, which is a damn shame. And unfortunately, we are now 2-0 down in our first Champions League group stage match of the campaign. Not the ideal start. We do luckily get ourselves a highlight straight from kickoff, give the ball away, but Rice wins it back. And this is where we begin to work it forward. If we're going to get back into this game, we need to do it now. Ball over the top doesn't go absolutely anywhere. Luckily, Havertz nicks the ball back, plays it in, I believe, plays it into the middle. Yes, he does. And Tierney, first time, cracks one into the back of the net. That's my left back doing that. That is an incredible goal. As for a fortunate goal for the equaliser, Sterling with a ball across the box. Jesus in the right place at the right time, gets his first goal of the season. And we needed that, but at the same time, we barely deserved that. It was only because of the changes. Look how fortunate this was. Havertz almost got taken out, but luckily Jesus mopped up, grabbed us an equaliser, a 2-2 draw away in Turkey. Newcastle United at home next, and this is another big test against a European chasing side. Sterling with a beautiful ball over the top. Noticing a pattern here to Odegaard, who dinks it over the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Literally 45 seconds on the clock. That would settle a few nerves that were going to be needed to be settled. I mean, Odegaard's so attacking, even from playing so deep. I love to see it. It's the main reason he's bagged himself at least a small handful of goals so far this season. What we didn't want to see happen, though, was David Raya getting himself injured again. He'd literally just come back with like 1 or 2 games before this. So off he goes, and on comes Neto again. I mean, Neto's fine as a backup keeper, but David Raya is just a step above, as well as being a bit younger, so he's got more years on Neto. Saka breaking through, gets himself lined up for a shot, but the ball was just nicked off his toes at the last second. I thought he was actually fouled. I literally threw up my hands screaming for a penalty at this point. But instead, Newcastle play the ball out from the back, try and get the ball through. Oh, they actually did in this one. Isak very close to equalising. They're trying to beat us at our own game of countering very, very quickly. But we showed them exactly how we play when we're not just counter-attacking. We get ourselves through again on goal. Another ball over the top. Saka through. This time he does get the shot off. And that's his 5th goal of the season. Cool, calm, collected placement into the bottom of the net. Well, sorry, the bottom corner of the net. Lovely stuff. When Odegaard is not scoring, he's playing beautiful balls across the midfield. It was Partey who got the assist on that one. But Odegaard, again, so instrumental. Straight from kickoff though, Isak has the ball in the box, plays it to Haraslin, who just thumps it into the back of the net. Our defence just beaten way too easily here. As much as I've tried to tighten this defence up, I have noticed it's still so easy getting through them a lot of the time. Luckily, it didn't matter. The entire second half, we held on. Full time 2-1. Very big result against the Newcastle team slipping towards mid-table. And David Raya out for another 5 to 8 weeks. Much to my dismay. Again, I really do want to get a goalkeeper in January, but I don't know if we're going to have the funds for it. Bologna in the Champions League group stages, early warning. They've got themselves a shot or header against the bar. We go up the other end. Here's the counter-attacking I was talking about. And there is Florian Wirtz. That's his 5th goal of the season. He is settling in very, very nicely into that attacking midfield role. He has slotted in even more into this team as a whole. Gabriel Jesus, ball into the box, plays it over to Saka, thumps one into the back of the net. And that's just 13 minutes gone, 2-0. We're looking good for the rest of the match. And we certainly did. Sterling grabs his 2nd. Beautiful finish. He hasn't had many chances so far this season, but when he's had the chances recently, he has been taking them very well. Problem is, he's only a loanee signing for the season, which is why I have decided to go in and get Nico Williams for January. This is a bit of a spoiler, because this is going to be for the next episode. But Nico Williams is going to be coming in. He will be an Arsenal player from January, and he is the long-term replacement for Raheem Sterling. He's had a very good half season with Athletic Bilbao, and hopefully he continues that when he comes to us. Speaking of continuing, we have ourselves a game against Manchester United. Just like real life, we get the first goal from a corner. This time though, William Saliba, who doesn't really bag himself many goals or even get many opportunities to score. So very nice to see him get on the score sheet, and very nice to see another set-piece goal as well. What wasn't nice was to see Saka handling a ball in the air. I didn't think he was actually that tall to even be able to jump for the ball there, but whatever, it's a penalty. VAR agrees, apparently. And none other than Bruno Fernandes stepping up and scoring. Of course he does, because he loves scoring against us, even in real life. I'm not a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, just so you know. It did end 1-1. Disappointing result at home, but it keeps us in the title race to begin with. The boards, though, have just shown some good generosity here. They've made some more transfer funds available. This is even after the Nico Williams deal, so we have £51 million to go and spend in January. Not happy about the fact that they've taken out a mortgage loan to do it of £65 million, but we're only going to be here for 3 seasons. As long as we get to do what we do over those 3 seasons, I am very happy. Early chance from a corner against the bar. Doesn't matter, Martinelli yet again scoring. 66 minutes it took to actually score in this one. The nerves were certainly there for this North London derby against Tottenham. And David Raya, my god man, what was that? That was terrible. Flapped at that ball coming in from a corner. Richarlison picks up the dregs and equalises for Tottenham. Let's just have a look at this on the replay. I mean, I know Raya, he had his hands on that. I know he's just come back from injury, but you expect better from your number 1 keeper. Yet again, I am saying that I want to get a goalkeeper in January, and that's probably what I'm going to be using that £50 million on, if we can actually get a good goalkeeper who won't cost the earth. Ball into Trossard, who does put it back in the back of the nets, and I thought that would be the winner, but wait. Referee bringing it back to VAR. Is he going to be generous? Is he going to give us our win? No, he's not. He's going to deny us the winner. And it's going to be honours even in the North London derby. Okay, Trossard is offside, but I've been robbed. I've been denied a rightful victory in the North London derby. I demand better. Christmas match against Bournemouth here, and I just wanted to show this because it's a good example of season's beatings. We had so many players forward for this match. Have a look at that. 4 players all lined up to get into the penalty area. It was Wirtz who decided to take the gamble first, and it paid off, making it 2-0. Odegaard into the box. Look at that. 4-5 players from our team all swarming the Bournemouth defence. Absolutely wonderful to see. This is attacking football at its very best. A 4th goal from Rice settles it. 4-0. That's it for the highlights. And all of that brings us up to the present moment, which is going to be the live commentary of our final match of the episodes, the home game against Manchester City. Just quickly showing you the form that we've been in over the first half of this season. It has been very, very good from us. For the fact that we played with no striker as well, and we've been scoring a lot of goals, especially over the... Actually, I've just noticed, we've conceded... Well, take this with a pinch of salt, we're about to play Manchester City, but we've conceded 1 goal this month, which is actually fantastic. 8 clean sheets in a row, I think that is. No, 7. 7 clean sheets in a row. And also, even though I've actually been simming the Carabao Cup matches, we have made it to the semi-finals. We beat Chelsea. Who did we beat on the way? We beat Chelsea, Everton, and Tottenham. I mean, I've just simmed these matches purely because the Carabao Cup doesn't actually matter to us. It's not counted as a major trophy. But we have made it to the semi-finals. We play Crystal Palace. If we do make it to Wembley, I will show that match just because it's a chance at a trophy regardless. But like I said, it doesn't count towards being a major trophy. Also, just to show the league table in full, we are 1 point off Liverpool after 19 games, so exactly halfway through the season. Manchester City, who we play in a moment, they are right behind us in 3rd. They did fall off because I think they lost their last match. Let's have a look. What was their last result? I can't even see them. There they are. They lost 1-0 to Wolves. Whereas Liverpool, they lost to Aston Villa, who's sitting 4th. I mean, Villa are not that far off us either, but very competitive at the top. The fact we're 1 point off of rampant Liverpool is actually really, really impressive because I thought Liverpool and Man City would just run away with it this season, but we've done pretty well. Also, apologies for not showing too much of the Champions League group stages. That's because we secured qualification after 4 games, so we kind of won the group at a canter. Galatasaray, Bologna and Feyenoord. Feyenoord were really poor. They didn't even win a game at all. We just got ourselves past them. Once we had that 2-2 draw against Galatasaray in Turkey, we won every other match in the group stage. So we'll be back for the knockout round of 16, which we are drawn away then home against Monaco. So I will show those games, of course, or at least the second leg, depending how the first leg goes. And then we'll see how the European adventure progresses from there. Remember, Champions League, along with the Premier League, we are looking to win within 3 seasons. If we win it in our first season, I'm not going to complain. I will be very, very happy about that. We'll just focus on the other one over the next 2 seasons. As for the tactic itself, again, still no strikers. Not played with a striker all season. And in fact, I'll show you this with the goals that have been shared out among the squad. I mean, saying that, Florian Wirtz had been on a bit of a goal scoring spree this month. I think he bagged about 5 goals in December alone, but he's got himself injured, so he is out of this game. He's out for 4 days, but he's out of this one against Man City, which is a shame because he's easily one of our best players. Martinelli on 10 and Saka is the next on 7. So the fact we got 2 players into double digits, very, very good. In fact, I'll just show, I think we scored about 40 goals this season. No, that's goals against. That's the wrong one. Oh, no, we've scored 35. 35 goals in the league this season. We're only 2 behind the top team, which is Liverpool, and we're 4th in goals scored. And so to the team that is going to face Manchester City, it is going to be David Raya in goal. A back 4, Zinchenko, Gabriel Saliba and Ben White. Rice at the base of the midfield with Marino and Odegaard in central midfield. Martinelli, Trossard and Saka are the 3 players in the attacking midfield and wing areas. Obviously, no striker. That Marino should be more of a, there we go, central midfielder on attack. I think Ranieri, I was playing him as a Mazzala on that left-hand side during the cup matches. I just forgot to switch it back. Saying that, Mourinho's had a good few games for us, I believe. Yeah, against West Ham, 8.4, playing that very role. Actually, he was playing as a DLP, and then, yeah, you know what, we'll just play him as a central midfielder. If he can play as a deep line playmaker, then that's perfect when Odegaard has to go off. He's been having a lot of tiredness recently. Verts, yep, just behind my head, you can see this. Verts, as I said, is out. Tomiyasu is also out for another 2 weeks, and Kai Havertz is out for another 4 days. So that's both of our attacking midfielders. Manchester City, exactly as you'd expect them to be. Haaland is just a goal-scoring machine as ever. Has he scored against us already this season? Yes, he has. He scored twice, as you saw in the highlights, back at the Etihad. Here's hoping we have our chance for revenge this time around. Early chance here, Trossard with the free kick, and before I even get my words out, we've got a goal. And it's Declan Rice, header from from the far post. That highlight came and went very quickly, but who was he challenging there? There was 2 of them against 1. Marino's just come into form this month, but a fantastic header from Declan Rice puts us 1-0 up early doors, exactly what we wanted. And again, even just from set pieces, the amount of players we're getting into the box, set pieces have been so vital for us in this first part of the season. Thank goodness for Nicolas Jova. And one thing I didn't mention actually, Jova was approached by PSG to go there as their set piece coach. I approached him and said, listen, Nicolas, you're an important part of this squad. We need you here. He accepted it and he decided to turn down PSG. Absolute legend. And we go in 1-0 up at half time. Good first half performance. Keep that up, lads. And we've got a highlight straight from the off. We are the ones kicking off. Let's just see how this goes. Martinelli, just giving the ball away. That's not like Martinelli at all. Oh dear, but Manchester City, they're just like us in many respects. They play the same game as us, except that their players are probably just that little bit more high quality. Oh, well won there by Zinchenko. Cuts inside. Very, very well. That's my left back doing that. Rice, Odegaard into Trossard. Plays it through to Marino. And Marino sticks it in the back of the net. His second goal of the season. Like I said, the purple patch that he is on at the moment. Fantastic. Is he actually starting ahead of anyone in particular? I mean, Declan Rice has fallen back into that defensive midfield role. I prefer him there ahead of Partey at the moment. So yeah, he's kind of taken over Thomas Partey, who's still a good rotation option anyway, especially with Rice and Odegaard. They need breaks. Along with Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Martinelli, who need a lot of breaks. In fact, you can see right there, Saka is knackered. The amount of rotation we have to do is utterly inhumane. Oh my gosh, Trossard. His 4th goal of the season. I was not expecting us to turn over the ball there, and Trossard steals in. What happened here? Edison plays over to Stones. Poor pass by Stones. Kovacic was covered by Trossard, who nicks the ball, sticks in the back of the net. It is 3-0, 57 minutes gone. Was not expecting this, but it's a nice surprise. We've got ourselves a free kick. Odegaard on the right-hand side. Plays it in, and Rice. Almost a repeat of the first goal. And that would have been the cherry on top of the cake, surely, because 4-0, you would say game over. And De Bruyne blasting a free kick well over the bar. Just thinking about substitutions, obviously, at the moment. In fact, Declan Rice is tired, so Thomas Partey is going to come on. Where is he? There he is. Thank goodness for 9 substitutes. Anyone else? My goodness, a lot of players. I mean, Trossard, we can't do much about you. You're going to have to see this out, man, because the other 2 will hopefully be back by the time we face Aston Villa in the next match. Martinelli's shattered, so Jesus is going to come on. You know what, Jorginho is going to go on. He's going to go on that deep line playmaker role. Odegaard can go over as the the central midfielder. In fact, we can just drop him back to being a support role. Oh, I was going to say, well done, Jorginho, but he gives the ball away. Haaland's offside, surely. Yeah, he is. Whew. Trying to stop him is a mission in and of itself, relying on Saliba and Gabriel doing their jobs there. Alright, you know what? Lower the tempo, bring up the time wasting a little bit. I think we got one more substitute as well. We're going to have a look at the defence for this one. Ben White is shattered, so Timber is going to come on at right back. Trossard and Odegaard, they're just going to have to gut it out for these final few minutes. And what a victory. 3-0. We've taken our revenge from Etihad. I love it. Fantastic, boys. Well done. That was incredible, and that cements ourselves as title challengers. Liverpool did win, but not much we can do about that. But that will do it for these highlights. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got the January transfer window coming up, of course, at the beginning of the month. I've already said earlier on in the episode we've got one player coming in, Nico Williams. As a winger, he will be the long-term replacement for Raheem Sterling when his loan finishes at the end of the season. But we've got a cracker for the second half of the season coming up, I think. Can we sustain a title challenge? Could we win the Premier League? Could we win the Champions League in the first season? Let me know down in the comments below what your suggestions are for transfers and how you think the second half of the season is going to go. Also, make sure you hit the like button down below. Smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss the upcoming episodes of Strikerless coming up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.